Let's talk about Lima.
How did you first become aware of Lima?
Well, I dated someone in the Lima scene.
But did you? So I guess you're from Florida. You lived in Cleveland for a lengthy period of time, and at a point when you were living in Cleveland already,
When I was living in Cleveland, I was trying to go to grind shows, but there weren't any. And I befriended Logan from Backslider, whom at the time was in Raw Sewage with Mikey Toth, who's in Pizza High Five. And I would drive 3 hours out to Mount Blanchard, Ohio, where there was like one stop sign. And I would hang out with Logan, and we'd get wasted and drive around the cornfields listening to Youth of Today, trying to end straight edge. And now I guess Logan doesn't drink, so that's fucking awesome, dude. It's awesome. Good job. Yeah, and we would just get wasted and listen to grind and, like, you know, go to grind shows and Dayton and stuff. And some kids had moved to Lima. Mikey was living in Lima at the time, so...
Correct me if I'm wrong. I heard rumors that for a lengthy period of time before he could move into the leather shop, Mikey lived in a tent in the leather shop yard.
You know what? I can't dispel that, but before the leather shop, there was Body Slammers, which was a gym named Body Slammers. So that's where they had shows. That was a venue. And then I remember I was around when they were like shopping around for real estate, and they found Jim's leather shop, but it was kind of uninhabitable in certain areas. I mean, it still kind of is, I guess. And I remember Mikey's room was upstairs, like, but you had to get to it, and I think you still do, by going through stairs around the side of the building. So if it's snowing and there's like a foot of snow, you can't actually go to the restroom. Like, you have to like crawl down the snow and then go through the yard, and it's like totally a mess. But he very well could have lived in a tent for a minute. I'm unsure of that.
Mikey, if you're out there, feel free to comment.
Yeah, seriously. But the leather shop is cool. They have a lot of shows there, and they've created a ton of awesome bands. Pizza High Five was born, I believe, at Body Slammers and moved to the leather shop, and Happy Birthday. Like, so many good bands from there. And they've really created an epic scene in the Midwest that didn't really exist. I mean, Minneapolis had a good scene for a while. I almost moved there before I moved to New York. For grindcore, and then I found out that the average temperature in February is 2, and decided that New York was more my style, and I would bring grindcore to New York. So that's what I try to do with Cat Bomb. But they've really done such a good job in the Midwest, and there's just so many really cool bands coming through, and a lot of bands want to play there, so they always make sure to stop there on tour, and it's just really nice.
Sick Tired even have a song memorializing like the greatness of Lima.
Really?
They do on the King of Dirt LP. I can't recall the name, but if you read through your lyric sheet, you will see they dub it the fastest town in the Midwest, I believe, is the title that they bestow upon there.
That's pretty rad coming from a Midwestern band.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I had kind of a weird start with Lima. In 2008, we were going on tour with I Hate This, and we were doing like a Midwest run.
Wait, who was in I Hate This at the time?
I Hate This at the time.
Pat D. Logan?
Not Logan yet. It was Jeff, who plays in Wallbreaker with my drummer Ben, and Ray. So Ray was the guitar player after me.
Who's Ray? I don't remember this person.
Tall, skinny, handsome fella.
Not Ray Huska from Ohio.
No.
Okay.
He's from
Who
New
does
Jersey.
For Real Fest.
Okay. No. He's a New Jersey boy.
In Forward, Ohio. Okay. So anyway.
Okay, yeah. So we're like, all right, where are we going to go in Ohio? So this was 2008. So of course you fired up your MySpace and searched for bands in Ohio, and there was some stuff coming out of Dayton, and there was a strange little phenomenon where all these bands seemed to be centralized out of Lima, which was not a town I had ever heard of at the time. And so I forget if Pat and I kind of like booked half of the shows of that tour each. Maybe he probably did more. But anyway, I think he kind of had done that one because I think they had maybe played for Real Fest.
Yeah, they played for Real Fest, I think, in 2006 or 2007.
Yeah, so they had some like knowledge of playing out there. And so we like...
Raw Sewage played that one as well.
Yeah.
The one that was.
So we like booked this show, and I guess we probably played with Pizza High Five, and I think we played with a band at the time called Rudy Ray Moore.
Yes, Rudy Ray Moore.
I believe I still have that demo tape somewhere around, floating around. And maybe one more called Shit the Floor.
Yes. Was it Shit the Floor? Wait, no, I'm thinking of something else.
There was definitely a band called Shit the Floor. I believe I have the CDR in loose paper sleeve upstairs.
I'm sure.
In a stack of demos and stuff. But so we showed up, and like it was just this like crazy like concoction of people, and the instant thing that jumped.
Was this at the leather shop?
This was at the leather shop. The thing that instantly jumped out was the nicknames
For the people?
for the people.
Night School, Powder,
Powder,
Trashy.
yeah, trash can. And when we asked this older guy about it, I was like, "What's up with
It's probably Jim.
Maybe, I don't know.
He makes chainmail.
Maybe.
Probably.
When we asked this the one dude who looked to be like 35 at the time, like, what's the deal with the nicknames? And his response was something to the effect of, I don't know, man. Like, when you get like hassled by the cops and they're like, "Hey, do you know Kirk?" And you're like, "No, motherfucker. I know a dude named Jetpack." Like, that was his defense, was that on the off chance you got stopped by the cops and like were asked about someone you might know, but this way you didn't have to like say, "I don't know, officer." You could just be like, "No, man," because you just knew a dude as Jetpack and not as fucking Kirk or whatever Jetpack's real name might have been.
I remember it was my goal to know everyone's real name, but I still didn't learn everyone's real name. Like, I know most. But I'll never tell.
I think what struck me as odd was that Mikey didn't have a nickname.
No. But he was like Little Mike or something for a minute. No, there was Little Cody and other Cody.
Yeah, I knew about
They were
there was
from Detroit.
multiple Codys.
And then, because one Cody is from Lima, then Little Cody moved. He was in Lieutenant Dan. Mm-hmm. And they moved to Lima when they were like 17 or something like that. And I was like, what are they doing here? That was really funny. But they just loved grind, and they just wanted to grind it out in Lima, Ohio.
They knew where they needed to make it happen.
Exactly. Now they're like a big deal. I mean, they're a big deal in my heart. For sure.
But yeah, so Night School was an instant favorite nickname.
You want this Thai food?
Yeah.
Night School is good because it's also spelled NITESKOOL.
And also, maybe you can confirm or deny this, Night School didn't actually attend Night School, but his brother did, and that's how he was nicknamed Night School?
No, I think that he did. I think he
Okay.
enrolled in Night School classes, and they thought it was so ridiculous. I don't know if he actually attended, but they thought it was so ridiculous that he was going to Night School classes that they just nicknamed him that. But
Night School is a solid dude.
solid dude. One time we wore diapers at a show in Dayton. We all did. Pizza High Five, myself, Night School, and we just wore them the entire show and danced around in them. And then people tried to actually urinate and defecate in these diapers, and it was just disgusting as we're eating Thai food talking about this. But yeah, it was a mess. Those were my better days. I think that was 2007.
I remember one of the times we played at the leather shop, we were talking about surf ninjas, and Night School just got the most excited look on his face and ran upstairs and came back with like multiple copies of VHS like surf ninjas.
What is that?
It's like some 90s like kids movie, because everything in the 90s was like ninjas shit.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch it?
We did, but I think we probably made it like half an hour in before we fell asleep, because it was like 3:30 by the time we put it on.
Did you go there when like 2 or 3 of them worked at Fazoli's, and they would come home with like garbage bags full of pasta?
I think the first time we played there, we were definitely like fed with leftover, like a giant tray of pasta from that. I'm assuming it was that place.
Oh yeah. They used to just get garbage bags full of food. It was crazy. But they've had the bands, and that's cool.
Yep.
It's always a good place to go to shows. I mean, I haven't been there in years and years and years, but I still have fond memories.
I think that one time Powder was maybe it wasn't Powder. There was a dude who was like obliterated drunk and like came back into like the band room where we were sleeping or whatever and like passed out, and his fucking phone alarm like went off at like 5:30, and he didn't get up, and it like woke all of us up, and like I had to like shake the shit out of this dude to like wake him up.
Or like find his phone.
I found his phone, but like I assumed there was some sort of reason that he had an alarm set for that early, which it did. He had to go to work or whatever. But
Most
like
people work like warehouse jobs there and shit.
he was a dishwasher at the restaurant where we ate breakfast.
Oh, wow.
But I was kind of just like, man, I'm glad that guy didn't make our food.
Right? Man, I saw some crazy shit there. I saw beer and wine enemas on rooftops.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Don't try that at home. It can kill you, literally. I saw some things I can't even talk about on the air because it's just too inappropriate.
Not safe for the internet.
Not safe for the internet, for sure. Definitely not safe for the workplace. But yeah, still a great town. I'm happy to have seen many cool shows.